So joining me today is Austin Cisneros. Am I pronouncing that right, Austin?
Cisneros, yes.
Oh, Cisneros. He's from Elevate Ag, and we also have Bart from Growth Technologies. We're going to be talking fertilizer and biologicals today. So you guys came upon Nitro-Mag, and correct me if I'm wrong, started doing some studies, and you found that not only are they friendly, but in many cases, Nitro-Mag was even increasing the biology of the microbes.
Correct. Yeah. David Olson at Sustainable Growing Solutions did some testing for us to make sure that what we were, taking out to the field is what we, was safe and what's best for the producer. And so David went through and was able to look at that and know that they, in fact, were able to survive and thrive in that situation. And it's exciting to see and be able to tell guys about it.
So before I ask Bart a question, Austin, did this surprise you? Was this surprising?
Yeah, it did. And I guess that's the world of biology, is it's constantly changing and evolving, and there's, surprises all the time. And so it's really cool to be able to see something like this and know that what we're doing and what we're saying we're doing is truly what's happening. So it's awesome.
Yeah. Biologicals, all of that industry is really trending right now. It's a growing industry. Bart, there are very exciting things about Nitro-Mag, things that make us different: stabilized melted urea, the fact that we came up with the Nitro-Mag Complex, which is that neutrally charged molecular complex. Yeah. Is that the reason that it's working so well with biologicals?
Yeah, I think that, when we put that patented formula together of what we're doing, and I think with it, when it did make that new molecular structure, I think that was the one thing I would say that we bring to the table that kind of elevates, if you will, their biology and all those things. And so I think that's the major thing that we saw. And I think with the way we stabilize it, we've had many conversations about the utilization of fulvic acid and those kind of things, and even how mag chloride stabilizes nitrogen as well. And I just think there's something to that played very, very well. And was, to be honest with you, I think was quite a surprise for David when he started looking at it. He said, well, this is really something's really happening here. And that was exciting to start that process.
Okay. So you guys found that it was working together. Did you conduct studies? How did you come up with proof?
So with looking, I rely on David for that stuff. That's not my expertise. That's not my lane. So I lean on him. And when he looked at this and watched it for days and months and, made sure that everything didn't change and the right populations were growing and whatnot, is kind of what we leaned on. And so David did all the research and all development and said, hey, yep, this is what is good for my biology. It's okay to go. And so that kind of is what gave us the green light and whatnot. And so then we put it out in the field and seen that is in fact true.
Yeah.
What did you find in the field specifically, Austin?
So when the biology and liquid urea growth, Nitro-Mag were together in situations with our producers, that we saw extremely high results as far as yield and nitrogen efficiency, and how those two played so well together. When, of course, producers are going to go out, they're going to try things, and they're going to trial different things. And so it was interesting to see when, with our biology across different producers with different forms of nitrogen, the results that we got, and saw that in fact when Growth Tech and Elevate Ag were together in the same setting, that's where the producer would tend to have their highest results and their best yields and stuff like that. So it is fun to see that.
It is fun. So Bart, this is an easy sell then. If we're going to start going down that road with biological companies and biological products, I mean, Nitro-Mag, it's right there. Put some muscle on your crops. It's working in these settings. That's pretty amazing. Is that advantageous to you selling this product?
Well, very much. I mean, it's I always take a step back from when we first heard about it to really bring it down to my level. When David said it doesn't off gas, and so that means it's not the microbes aren't dying, they're expanding. I can understand off gas, so that a lot of people will understand that when they know me, that I understand those things. So that was the first thing that I really thought made some sense in all seriousness, is that we were actually expanding the microbes. And I think that when we are able to talk to growers about that interaction between that, I think I don't want to say it's the easiest sell, but it is definitely something that we can have a real good conversation about, not killing microbes, actually expanding the microbes. And that's the basis to what we're trying to get done when we match the two companies together, when we start collaborating some of those things together.
So as we're talking about Nitro-Mag combining well and being compatible with biologicals, is this exciting to you guys? Like, I just want to do a big cheer. Like, I don't know. Are you as excited as I am?
I am. Yeah, I'm excited. I think that it's a great way to, it's what's best for the producer at the end of the day. And I think that's why we're all doing what we're doing. And so, if we can go out and we can say these, show these things and it show up day after day and in the field, that's truly what excites me, is that you're able to incorporate biology with synthetics and a great form of nitrogen, get efficiency. And I think it's just a snowball effect from there. So it is exciting. I really am excited about it.
Yeah.
And I think, Joanna, it's what separates us from, when we work together, from maybe just somebody going out there with a single product or a single biological, if you will. I hate to just lump all that together, but I think it does separate where we go with our products, with Elevate's biology, microbes, all those things. I think that just it just takes us maybe a step further with the initial conversation with people.
Yeah. No, I think this is really exciting, and we're going to be collaborating with Elevate Ag and, working with you guys. I think this is a great step in both of our companies, and it's going to go a long way. Wouldn't you guys agree?
Yeah, I think that there's so many other aspects of step one is putting these two programs together. And then, there's really other steps to this to become more and more efficient. And really that was the the reason that even, Nitro-Mag with the stabilized melted urea came together, is to help the producer become more and more efficient. And when we add these things and then can get to know that producer more, it's just a compounding opportunity for that grower. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm gonna look down at my notes because something came up in my research. How does this, farmers are going through some tough times right now, and you have to spread those dollars, right? How does combining Nitro-Mag with biologicals give farmers more bang for their buck right now, which is desperately needed?
I'm gonna pose that question to Austin, because I think that's been the conversation that we've had actually in the last few days with growers, is some of the biology, the biological things that Austin and Elevate bring to the table is unlocking some other nutrients. And that I'm going to push it over to Austin, because that's kind of his wheelhouse there.
Okay.
So the biggest thing is that the biology being in stasis and being able to take that amine nitrogen and turn that into an amino acid. And when it's in an amino acid form, the plant and the soil and in your microbes, that's the form they want to get it into. That's where you can start building your protein blocks. That's where you can start stacking. That's your foundation. So as soon as that biology is able to get in there and have those specific skilled microbes that are doing what they're supposed to be doing, you're able to change that into an amino acid, and then the plant's able to uptake it, and it's friendly to the biology. And that's truly what matters. At the end of the day, when you can break something down to an amino acid form and you can start building protein, everything starts to click.
Hence the put some muscle on your crops. It's amino acids, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So how, Austin, I'm just going to ask you this another way. How is this going to help farmers spread their dollars a little more, just so when they're investing, they're going to be getting more back with combining these two? So
biology is key to the whole deal. Having a form of nitrogen, such as Nitro-Mag, looking at that and the efficiency of that they both bring independent, and when you combine them together, you're able to start reducing and increasing your efficiency. And when you've got the right microbes in the right setting, all of those things start to come together, which is efficiency. And so in hard times, that's what you have to have. You have to have an efficiency, you have to have conversion, and you have to have a return on your investment.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Is that how you're posing it to all of your potential clients, Bart, or the farmers you work with?
Yeah,
this is no brainer.
It's just a pretty easy. It's even from my perspective, as we talk about with people that are wanting to become a manufacturer, a licensee. It's step one is you've got the base with us the melted urea. And then step two, incorporated in that, is you need to be talking about your biological program, because it really is the next steps to becoming more efficient, for that plant to become more efficient. So
why are biologicals trending right now?
It's a great question. It's growing and thriving and all of that. But I think I think that there's a lot of information and education in the ag industry as a whole. I think that, in tough times are maybe a little bit of a motivation to that, is that, hey, how do I do things differently? Or, and this isn't the same soil that my grandpa farmed. And we know that now, like we can show that, and we're seeing that, and we're realizing that. And it's just, so I think that's a big part of it, is looking at things. They're kind of, I feel like there's a change in agriculture right now as far as age and that kind of that next group of producers. And they're, they've been around technology, they've understood it, and things have evolved. And I think that it's really focused on your return on your investment and how do you survive and get through these tough times and thrive. And so I think that's a lot of it, but it is everywhere. I mean, there's new biological companies coming to the market every day. And I think that, there's the key to all of this is diversity and how do these biologicals work, and how, not every biological is going to play well in every setting. And so looking at that and understanding that stasis and keeping those microbes silent and waiting until they get into a water or soil application is when they're going to come out and they're going to thrive. And so I think that's a lot of it.
Awesome. So we're excited to be, collaborating with Elevate Ag. Why don't you guys tell us how these two companies are going to move forward together to create kind of magic for the farmer?
Sure. Yeah, I think that anytime from my lead, if you will, with growth technologies, with the licensing and those kind of things, having those conversations with manufacturers, is that the next step really is, as you're part of our system, that it just naturally fits to bring in an Elevate Ag to fit that system. And I think that's where we kind of see this thing going is that's probably how we would work together more, is by doing that, is making sure everybody's aware of what, number one, what our products will do, and number two, what products can you bring into your operation with this license to work together with an Elevate and an Austin specifically, and those kind of things. And I think that's really the from my opinion, my approach, that's how we're going to move forward.
Yeah, this is exciting stuff. Go ahead, Austin.
No, it's just, ultimately at the end of the day, it's what's best for the producer. And that's really what I want to focus on, is that, what ultimately is best for the producer. How can we, in having these conversations on a day-to-day basis and all these networking and all these, lines that cross and whatnot, is, you have a lot of, there's a lot of things out there, and it's hard to weed through all of them, and it's confusing. And so when you can find a company and they start to come together, or a product that's friendly, like those are the things you want to take to your producer if you're doing the right things. And so that's kind of why this whole process is exciting to me. And what really makes me want to take this to the field is because we know, and we've had these conversations, and this is what I want to take to my producers.
Yeah. No, this is exciting. And is this the time of year where you start looking into stuff like this?
It seems like, yeah, this is when people are starting, but in all honesty, we really need to start thinking about things in the fall from a producer standpoint. What are we going to do throughout the winter to keep things moving forward live going on in your soils? And I think having that, and that's a whole nother topic of discussion of what we do in the fall, and then how it leads into feeding the biology in the spring and those kind of things. So there's it almost is every day of the year you could really incorporate something. That's the cool thing about it.
Yep, absolutely. I don't think it's, make a decision today, start moving forward and go from there. So I don't think it's too late at any point.
Yeah.
Can we officially say that Nitro-Mag is dating biologicals? I don't know. Can we say that? Or they're just friendly right now?
This is when we're going to, Austin and I are going to spread apart a little bit here if we're going to start dating. So yeah, I think, I enjoy, to me, the word is certainly collaboration. I think, while it's fun to say dating, I get that, but I think we really are, from a collaboration standpoint. We're not married, we're not doing that, but we are watching things move forward together. And I think that's, as long as that keeps going, and really between, Austin and myself and where that goes, I think that really is how it's going to work. So.
Okay. So if people are interested in this relationship of Nitro-Mag with biologicals from Elevate Ag for right now, how do they get a hold of you guys? Like, how do they get more information?
So either one of our websites, and just reach out and, ask for myself or anybody on our team. And, we're going to be easy to reach and be able to get what you need in the situation. So.
Yeah. And Bart's always accessible.
Yeah. Yep. And the website, that's always a good place to go, and phone numbers and stuff like that. So
yeah. So we've got growthtechllc.com. What's your website?
ElevateAg.com.
Elevate. Okay, great. I'm excited about this. I'm sure you guys are too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Appreciate the opportunity.
All right. You guys have a great day. Oh, and let's end with, can you give me a little muscle?
Oh, I can do that.
A muscle. There you go on your crops with the Nitro-Mag. Thanks, you guys. Have a great, strong day.
You bet. You too.